What's up, people? It's your boy Laws OSS 980, other side of sports. We here. We gotta talk. We gotta talk, people. Whenever you see me behind this mic, we gotta talk. And the reason we gotta talk today is because it bothers me when I turn on my radio and I hear these strong, biased opinions that aren't rooted in any facts. It's just how they feel. And I'm like, y'all don't have the same feeling about these other people that walk through this building, you know, and only I'm like, I'm trying to figure out where is the feeling coming from, dog. Is it just like you tell me if I'm off base? Because we're gonna talk about it. You know how we like to do. We gotta start. I do timelines. We had Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan both here. 2010 to 2013. Everybody right now, oh yeah, Kyle Shanahan, he liked that. He was great coordinator. Like he got to be a head coach in this league and all like that. Rightfully so. He's a good head coach. San Francisco poised to go to the Super Bowl. So be it, right? Matt LaFleur, oh, he got Jordan Love and you know the Green Bay Packers looking like Super Bowl, like they contenders, and you know, they right back in the saddle and blah, blah, blah. He used to be here. We should have kept him. Woo, woo. Dog, when we had these dudes here, 2010, 6-10, that's what the record was. They was ranked 25th offense. Next year, 21st ranked offense. Year after that, 2012 was the golden year of RG3 where the Bama just took the league by storm. You know what I'm saying? Read option. Cool. Fourth offense in the league. Like they was ranked number 4, right? With a 10-6 record. Year right after that, back to the bottom. 3-13. I don't recall people jumping out the window talking about they shouldn't get a job and they shouldn't be hired here, nothing like that. A lot of people were calling in saying like, yeah, we need to hire this dude, like make Kyle Shanahan the head coach. For whatever reason, we had Dan and all that. Everybody won't always blame Dan. They decided to move on. Fine. Okay. Them dudes is gone. They having successful careers, but nobody was really trying to like slander them and make it seem like they couldn't coach a football team or they didn't have nothing with it to. We passed that. They doing good, cool. Then comes down the road, 2014, we get hit. Sean McVay, 4-12, people. 9-7, 8-7-1, 26th in the league, 10th in the league, and 12th in the league. Now that's respectable. Props to Sean McVay. A lot of people were saying at the time, this is the guy you want to keep. Boy genius. He got the, offensive coordinator. He liked that, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, I wasn't even, during the time, I didn't feel, I was like, yeah, they probably should go with Sean McVay. He got the best out of Kirk Cousins. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay. But you can't look at the record and act like his offense was all world, dog. It wasn't all world. It was solid. It was all world for a Washington Commanders fan. How about that? Because we used to just trash. But come on, people. When he was about to move on and get a head coach, nobody was like, no, he's terrible. He's going to be terrible. He don't need to be coaching here and blah, blah, blah. Like so adamantly like against him being here. He moves on. He wins the Super Bowl. He doing fine, right? Next guy, 2019, Kevin OConnell, 3-13, people. These are the people, these are the guys, y'all, we should have kept him, and he's this, and that, and this, and that. 32nd ranked offense in the league. Of course, he ain't last long. He went to McVay. They went off and win it, and he ended up with a job in Minnesota, right? Fine. All that's cool, right? But I got a problem, though. I got a problem when I turn on my radio and people are trying to tell me how Eric Bieniemy, who interviewed for the Commanders head coach and Commanders job, how he's not fit to be the coach, and we saw what his resume is, and he can't do it, and he doesn't even need to be considered at all, and There's no zero chance he comes to this team and is the head coach and stuff like that. I don't know why people are so against him. If anything, out of all them dudes, he's probably got the best resume to that of somebody who I would want to come take over my football team. And we're not going to act like with them other guys, it's always these excuses why they didn't be successful. Oh, it was Jay Gruden and he was holding the team back. Oh, the regime. Oh, it was Dan Snyder. It was all these other factors in there, except for the people themselves and what they put on the product they put on the field from an offense. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to over scrutinize him. When he came into this team, when he came, Josh Harris just got here. So he was just in the same, it was a bunch of mess he was walking into himself, dog. So it just bothers me when these narratives are painted so with these strong brushes, like this dude is some trash. When if you go back, this dude's resume is immaculate, dog. He's the offensive coordinator 2018, 12-4, 12-4, 14-2, 12-5, 14-3, ranked first, 5, 6, 4th, and 1st. I already know what y'all gonna say. Oh, well, that's not on Bieniemy. He did it's Andy Reid. Andy Reid was doing that and blah blah blah. Okay, let's take it here. Andy Reid is still there. Eric Bieniemy is gone. What's the ranking of the team now? Kansas City Chiefs, you can say what you want. They figured a way to get to where they are in the AFC Championship game. Props to them. Andy Reid is a great leader of men. I think they have great pieces. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback we ever seen in our entire lives. Flat out, right? But dog, the offense itself is 15th. They went 11-6. They lost a lot more games than they having to play road games because they lost games now in the playoffs. So we're not going to act like Eric Bieniemy just a bum or a scrub and try to like diminish his value because he came to a sorry bum sauce team with no offensive line, terrible quarterback. They try to basically pin a 5th round quarterback and say, make this work, because that was Ron's lifeline to having any credibility on this organization and franchise. And Eric Bieniemy accepted the task and just did the best he could with it. When probably he was like, dog, if we trying to win games, like, whatever, I would go with Brissett. Like, who knows, dog? But I know this, though. The defense was ranked 32nd. And like, I'm not saying that his stats with the Washington Commanders was all world. Like, no, he wasn't ranked 32nd. I'm sorry. That was our defense. He was ranked 25th. Ranked 25th. I know that's not nothing to be like, oh yeah, dog, because he's this and that. I'm just saying, from a schematic standpoint, night and day from what we were saying the year before, dog. It was night and day. To me, I wouldn't be against or opposed to Eric Bieniemy being a head coach of the team. I wouldn't be opposed to that, though. And I'm not necessarily like saying that he's the guy, but what I'm saying is his track record is not something to just cast off like he's not even in consideration for this job, or you shouldn't even put him in the conversation because are you silly? Only people who are idiots and have no football acumen say stuff like that because they don't watch football enough and understand it enough to be able to know that that's an asinine comment or position. You just don't know what you're talking about. And so I'm here to bring back some logic and competence to the conversation, because these people make they jump out the window making these rash statements, and it's based off of nothing but feeling. They don't know nothing. And then they the jump pisses me off because they say, oh yeah, leader of men, like allegedly he's this and allegedly that. Like, y'all stop it. There was no alleged with these other coordinators that was in here talking. Eric Bieniemy has more experience in the NFL than all of them other coaches that I named, dog. Like, people don't know what they're talking about. And y'all can keep listening to these overcooked narratives that they put out to try to get you to believe certain stuff. I'm telling you, anybody with a football mind, I heard the day there was somebody they had from Sports Illustrated came on the radio, and he was like, I mean, Eric Bieniemy is a guy, like he's the around football spaces. He's talked about highly. He's this, and that. And they're like, we don't want him here. We don't. He's not fit. He's not. Like, dog, what are y'all talking about? You're trying to dismiss somebody who is in, like, really covers the NFL and covers the sport at a high level, and y'all just dismissing him. This is why we exist, dog. This is exactly why we exist, because their bias bleeds through and they can't even control it. They're not even looking objectively to be able to say, like, it's like none of this was when it was Sean McVay, when it was OConnell, none of this was being said. None of this. None of this. And it probably could have been said, oh, we don't want this guy. He's not up to snuff, blah, blah, blah. No. We like O'Connell. No matter how terrible that Bama was, though, or whatever. It just, I would be okay, but you just can't move the cheese. It just got to be the same for me to be okay with it. If you feel that way, that's fine. But just feel that way across the board. Why I gotta be the black guy? You just be like, oh, no, and I'm not race baiting. I'm just telling you the narratives is different. It's just an observation. It's not me trying to say, oh, they're race baiting, or they being racist, blah, blah. No, I'm just saying it's an observation. When we were talking about these other guys, none of this was like, they weren't vehemently and adamantly detesting against the guys being hired or being interviewed or anything. But now when it's this guy, oh no, we don't want him. He didn't do it. We got a sample size, blah, blah, blah. Dog. And even if you bring up the fact that, he had things working against him, though. He coming in, this whole franchise, they hamstrung him from the jump street. They should have fired Ron off break and just let Eric Bieniemy take over the team. And during the season, this is another consideration. People have just like kind of just warped their brains to just adopting this stupid bias mentality that's not based or rooted in anything. Eric Bieniemy could have easily been in the same position as Antonio Pierce this year. If they would have fired Ron the same time Antonio Pierce took over the Raiders, who knows what the changes would have been? The trajectory could have been different. Matter of fact, if they would have did that and they played the rest of the games out, and I could have really saw a true legitimate sample size with him having all the control in his hands and what's going on, then I could probably make a better assessment of it. But just to be so adamant that he's not the guy based on this limited sample size on a team that's full of just trash that everybody knows is trash. It's unfair. It's not right, dog. And so that's why we here. That's why we here. That's why we here, bro. It bothers me, dog. When I get in my car, that's why I can't listen to the radio, dog, because these clowns, they've been on the radio so long, they've heard themselves like, they get like a little kick out of just being able to sway the public opinion with their biased, rhetoric, dog. It bothers me. It bothers me. And that's why we here, dog. The other side. You got to come to the other side, because there's nothing for me to be like, he's unhireable. You just shouldn't bring him on the team. Like, nah, dog. It's nothing that makes me feel like that with Eric Bieniemy. You give him a fair chance. You look at him and you evaluate him. To me, you looking at Ben Johnson, everybody saying Ben Johnson is the guy, blah, blah, blah. I don't know that Ben Johnson can be a leader of men. That is the first criteria that you have to have as an NFL head coach, is to be a leader of men. The X's and O's, that's important too. But if you cannot lead men, I don't care how nerdy you are, how much offense you know, Bama is not getting through to real athletes, dog. They're gonna tune you out if you don't know how to galvanize them and get them to be prepared and ready to play a football game on Sunday that's physical, and it takes a certain type of alpha male to do that. And if you got a nerdy nerd type Bama who just know X's and O's and you don't have no leader of men, you're going to have failure, and that'll be problematic. And I don't know that at the surface if Ben Johnson is that. I hear a lot of good stuff about him. He knows offense and stuff like that. He stuck around. But if you look at Detroit Lions and their success, I'm looking at Dan Campbell as the leader of the men. And it looks like Ben Johnson is a good complement to that. But I don't know if Ben Johnson is a leader of men. And for everybody to just, it's already a foregone conclusion that he's the guy and stamp Ben Johnson and stamp, like, we don't even know that. What we do know is that at least Eric Bieniemy does have some accountability and leadership qualities to help galvanize people in the right direction. Like, to me, that's more as most important quality you can have as a head coach. And you see that in most of the successful head coaches. They're leaders of men and good at it. And not so much super X's and O's. And I say this because, people twist your word. Oh, no, you don't like Ben Johnson. You think he's no, I like Ben Johnson. I'm just saying that there's things that I don't know about Ben Johnson to be able to sit here and just stamp him as my guy. Like they try to stamp guys here. And I don't know why they're trying to stamp guys without having that information. Because again, to me, more importantly, is a person who is a leader of men over the X's and O's. X's and O's is important. I'm not saying you just only need one without the other. I'm saying you need both. But if you got one, if you got the X's and O's, but you're not a leader of men, you're going to lose. Trust and believe. Trust and believe you're going to lose, dog. So, I say all that to say, will it back. Just chill, people. Y'all these narratives that they spinning is spinning you in a cycle where you like, oh, the team gonna be good, it's gonna be good. And dog, you haven't seen what you need to see in order to check it off, to be like, yes, or stamp it, or really feel good about it. It's all narrative driven. It's all feelings driven. So just be careful, dog. The rhetoric against Bieniemy, dog, is not right. It's not right. And we're not standing for it over here, bro. Check his resume, dog. He's not no slouch. And just because he had, some hiccups here in this organization that's full of dysfunction doesn't mean it's him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, those things don't line up, dog. You get a man a 5th round draft pick and tell him make it work, and it just stop it, people, stop it. And I don't care. Like people on radio, they gonna double down and try to keep spinning in there. Listen close. And when we come back here, when the team, I don't know, the team hasn't made no moves for me to really evaluate it and say like whether I'm with it or against it yet. I'm just going to hang back for now. But that's what good reporters do or good commentators do. You can give your opinion, but like they jump out the window on people that they don't even know. They haven't even sat down and talked to Eric Bieniemy. I bet they wouldn't be talking like that if he was on the phone with him. They'd be humble and regular. And that's the problem I had with it. They talk greasy. Oh, we don't, he's not the guy, blah, blah, blah. But if you're on the phone or they face to face, they're going to be talking nice. Because they know he's a man's man. He's not going for that funny, like soft, like, you're not talking to me crazy. I'm telling you, people, it's a new day. The whole time where they just slander people and just talk crazy and nobody check them on it, it's dead. We here.